No mai, haere mai. Welcome to 3 News. David Seymour's school lunches program is looking more like a dog's breakfast today. One of the main providers, Labelle Group, has been put into liquidation. It's contracted to deliver around 125,000 healthy school lunches a day for the government. But the minister said the liquidation process will not materially impact the provision of meals. Senior political correspondent Jenna Lynch has more.
When David Seymour first got a taste of school lunches,
how's that?
He seemed to have no clue how bad the aftertaste would be.
That is so good.
5 months and countless piping hot messes served as lunch later, it's actually closer to really bad.
Are you completely happy with the service that Labelle was providing?
Well, clearly not. I mean, there's been times that we have had failures, and I've been very upfront about those. I've even apologised and written a card to one young boy who was affected by poor service.
Labelle, one of the providers of the government's free school lunch program, was placed into liquidation today.
No details of what that meant to us, whether we were going to get supplied lunches today, tomorrow, what it looks like and so on. So a bit worrying.
Labelle Group is a member of the School Lunch Collective alongside Compass Group NZ and Gilmore's. This is what we were sold.
And the process that helped deliver nutritious and delicious lunches to our students Monday to Friday.
And this is what was delivered, a second-degree burn to a student after his lunch exploded, and melted plastic for lunch at Murchison Area School after someone turned the ovens up too high.
Mr. Seymour had said there would be no more of those containers used, and that came through. And then the very next day, we still got some.
It's understood the meals served in plastic were sent out after Labelle failed to deliver on the meals it said it would.
It's fair to say that throughout the term we've been keeping our options open, and we've got to a stage now where we're able to be a bit more positive about the future.
Backup plan with them because you could see it was going wrong.
We always keep our options open.
Seymour striking a much different tone today than his dismissive defence mode yesterday.
There's been one child that was briefly admitted to A&E, and that's why I say, you can...
Are you brushing that off as not a problem?
No, I'm not doing that at all. You can catastrophise as much as you like.
The policy has been plagued with problems ever since Seymour cut its cost, favouring mass-produced hot meals over local providers with bespoke meals like sushi.
Oh, look, if you don't get that sushi's woke, I don't know how to wake you up.
And having fought the war on woke sushi, some of the government's now moving on to the woke public workforce. The First has pitched a members' bill that would change the Public Service Act to remove any mention of diversity in hiring.
New Zealanders want some plain common sense restored to government.
Taking a leaf out of the most populist of playbooks.
And our country will be woke no longer.
And the PM sounds a bit keen.
When we took the keys to the place, it was pretty woke.
Judith Collins, yes, this Judith Collins.
Oh, is there something wrong with me being white?
Is currently in charge of reforming the public service.
I am the least woke person, possibly because I'm already well awake, and so consequently, I think the public service reforms that we've got coming will be heartily rejoiced about.
We want to make sure that everything is done on the basis of meritocracy.
The PM perhaps implying some who've been hired haven't been hired for talent.
And I think it is important to presume that the people who have been appointed are being appointed for their merit.
Can you give us an example of where meritocracy hasn't occurred? Can you give us an example of where someone has been hired into a role and they shouldn't have been?
Yeah, I'm just going to say to you, we have a piece of work underway around the Public Service Act. Judith Collins is a new minister working with a new Public Services Commissioner.
That came nowhere near answering the question.
Oh, Jenna joins us now. Kia ora, Jenna. So going back to David Seymour, why the change in tone from him today?
Yeah, one might be forgiven for perhaps thinking that secretly Seymour might be a bit stoked that Labelle is no longer a viable option given the catalogue of failures. The tone shift was notable today. There is perhaps a constituency for this tough love, let them eat Marmite attitude that the Prime Minister and David Seymour have been displaying, but when you are overseeing a program that has burned children and delivered food safety hazards, that is not the right tone to take. David Seymour has been very careful not to criticise Labelle today or wade into the reasons behind the liquidation, citing commercial negotiations still ongoing. It may be that a gentler tone is required in the meantime so as to try and save the stability of the program, try and perhaps keep some of the staff that were working for LaBelle in board in the program so as to ensure continuity of service. I have just had notification through from the Minister's office that 99.96% of meals were delivered on time today.